So with broken images, it's what known typically as a progressive error. So over time, they can accumulate, especially when your site's really big and you've got nobody who's kind of managing it on the day to day. So it's really important to look for, firstly, preventative measures around broken images. So things like making any changes to where the images are stored, CDNs, changing image names. It's just making sure that when you do work like that, you do a lot of due diligence that nothing's going to be impacted across the site. So yeah, it's really important when you upload images, when you kind of do any kind of management with the URL structure, is just have it kind of in the back of your mind if is it going to impact this image anywhere else on the site. And there are ways you can find that. For example, you could run a crawl on the site looking for a particular image where it's located. So things like Sitebulb, for example, or Screaming Frog, is you can actually run a full crawl on the site and then actually search the data to see where that image is. So why is it important to fix broken images? And it kind of hinges on two things. The first one is user experience. So if you're kind of presenting an image, it seems to complement the content of the page. So it obviously has a use at some point to be on there in the first place. So from a user experience perspective, if you hit a page that with broken images, the image is important, it kind of gives a secondary signal that's not really well maintained a website. So it's always good from a user experience perspective to get on top of these to give people the images that they need, but also if it's used for like aesthetic reasons and things are broken, it can make the site look a bit funny as well. So that's number one, UX. The second one is loading speed, and which obviously can impact SEO as well. So what will happen is someone will visit the website and the browser will spend a bit of time looking for that image. It takes a bit of time to get a response back that the image is not there, then it saves the 404, and then it changes kind of the CLS in Core Web Vitals, for example, where when the image is not found, it'll change the layout slightly because it may have like certain height and width allocated to that image, but then it's not there, then it just like goes to a red cross and things like that. So yeah, once you have one image on a page that's missing, it's just not good practice. But some sites can have like one or two images missing across the full site as well. So this just doesn't go for images. This goes for pretty much any asset that you try to bring to the forefront of the web page that you're trying to load. If it's not found, what happens is it'll kind of extrapolate the time needed to identify that it's not there rather than to load it in. So ultimately, it slows the site down. Is a basic version. So it's really important to get on top of it. And yeah, with it being a progressive error, you might be dealing with a lot of errors, but I wouldn't let that deter you. It's a very much find and fix kind of error. So once you fix it once, you can kind of forget about it as long as you do due diligence around any kind of changes. So once you're on top of it, switch your focus firmly over to prevent it happening again, and then you'll be in a really good point. But don't let the numbers kind of overwhelm you. It's definitely worth doing. If you want to kind of have this as a backdrop, as a backdrop kind of workpiece, I'd even try and prioritize the pages from what gets the most footfall or what has the most visibility from high to low as well. So at least you kind of work on high to low priority, but see it through, get it done if you can. Another quick way as well is if you had like one.jpg was on 10,000 pages and it was missing, it might be easier just actually upload an image called one.jpg, which is relevant to obviously what the image was or what it is, and just making sure that it serves the right image as well. So there's two ways to fix it, and multiple ways to find it. So first one is obviously if you're going to crawl on the site, it'll look at things like the images. So this is just an image that I've done as a test run on my site, and it's shown as not found. So it flags it back, and then I can basically see, okay, it's found on that particular page, and have a look. So once I'm on the page, so this is the page in question where it's got the missing image. I'll see this little broken image link here, but you don't always get that luxury, unfortunately. Sometimes it can be well hidden where you don't find it, especially like 1 by 1 pixels and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's actually got purpose of an image as well and all that good stuff. So yeah, typically there's multiple ways to do it. So you can do in Chrome inspect, and then you see a little red tab here, and you can see here that filter load resource. I can see that the image name's there. Which is that image there, and I'll basically say, okay, so it's broken image test. Let's see where it's at. View page source, broken image test there. So it's right next to some text there, and it seems to be near the contact form box. So I can see roughly where it's at just based on what these are. And obviously there's a bit of text in there as well, so I can kind of get a good grasp of roughly where it's at on the page. So yeah, that's one way of doing it. So you can do it that way. There are other tools like web page test, which will basically give you a waterfall of all the assets on the site and clearly mark out which ones aren't there as well. So typically, like I say, in regards to fixes, what I would do here is I'd either add an image in that path of the test, so I can see that it's in the root. So I can just put an image upload called broken image test, which will then serve an image, or I can update the HTML via the page and just put that to an image, which is right as well. So just while we're on there as well, good advice when you're doing image handling is to try and get the WebP and also add in there an alt tag as well, but more on that a bit later on. So yeah, hopefully that helps, and it's definitely a task worth doing. If you have any questions or you've got any more information that you think is relevant to the video, feel free to just let us know. And yeah, hope you found it useful.